Hi everyone, welcome to Self-Publishing 101. This is Jennifer Malone Wright, and Self-Publishing 101 is done by KB Miller and myself to help y'all learn some tips and things about self-publishing. So I made this whole video earlier and I tried to use my webcam on my new computer and it didn't take well. Had my hair all brushed and makeup done and everything for that one. But you're not so lucky now because I got to get this done before the kids come home. But today we're going to talk about offline marketing and some of the various methods of doing that. And so offline marketing is very, very, very important. We can't underestimate the power of offline marketing, even though since we're self-published authors, most of our marketing is going to be done online. So we've already established in previous videos that when you're a self-published author, you do all the work for your business. And so offline marketing is something you definitely don't want to leave out. So the first thing we're going to talk about is newspapers. And yes, people still read the newspaper. So the first thing you want to do with newspapers is do some press releases. You can do that online and distribute to them online, but don't forget your local papers. Get the email addresses of your local papers and send them the press releases. And a lot of times they will put your new releases in the paper for no cost. Like for example, just with our KB Miller and I, we wrote Once Upon a Zombie Apocalypse together, and I didn't even know it was in there. I sent the local paper press releases, and I didn't even know it was in there, and I was waiting for my kids at the school, and I said, I'm going to read the paper, and I opened the paper, and there's a huge article in there. It started with, "The beginning of the end is near." It looked like this great article, an article about the end of the world. So don't ever pass up any free advertisement. That's free advertisement. The same with event calendars. If you have an event going to happen, a book signing, a book launch, anything, a new release, a lot of times they'll put them in the event calendars or just in the article do a little write-up on it for free, especially in small town papers. So never ever ever pass up anything that doesn't cost you anything and is going to advertise to people. Okay, let's talk about launch parties real quick. When you have a new release, it's good to have a launch party, even if it's just a little one, a little gathering. And there's more on this in the guidebook, in my guidebook, where I go into more depth on like things you can take to your launch party, things that you can do for swag and organizational things. But right now I'm just going to talk about like where you can do a launch party and why it's important for offline advertising. So a couple places you can do these are libraries. Some of the bigger cities don't like you to do them at the libraries, but just ask. The worst that they can do is say no. Community centers usually have a very low cost, but they do charge. But they're a good place to do things like that because they usually have a little kitchen and like chairs and stuff. So that's always a good place to do it. Bookstores will sometimes host book launch parties. Like I said, just ask. The worst that they can do is say no. And then hotel conference rooms, if you want to do like, if you have the money to spend on a better venue. Some of the other places that you could look into are places like yacht clubs, things like that, country clubs, things like that, where they might let you. I don't really know a whole lot about that, but just ask. The worst that they could do is say no. I had mine at the local library, and then afterwards we took the party over to the bar across the street where we could do like karaoke, and we had a big cake and lots of snacks and, you know, prize drawings, and they had microphones and things that we could use. So it was really fun to do. We just weren't allowed to bring any beverages in. Oh, the baby's awake. Hold on. I guess I better get through this pretty quickly then. I tried to get it done while he was asleep. Okay, so another reason that the launch parties are good for exposure is... Oh, are you okay? It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hold on, sit right here and Mommy will get you a snack in a minute. Is because you can make flyers. I made a whole bunch for my very first, when I didn't have any money to spend or, you know, anything. It was my very first launch party. I made flyers and I papered the town with them. Even if people aren't going to go to your launch party, they're going to see the flyers, which is advertising your book. Make sure to put the links on there, your website, and tack up a couple of flyers on every single bulletin board you see. And a little note on bulletin boards. A lot of bulletin boards for like the bigger stores like Walmart and Super One and even Starbucks. And a lot of places. Safeway. They're non-profit. They don't want you to put them up there. So make sure that you ask or read the rules when you take them, when you take your flyers out there. But I went into every single business in my town and asked them if they could put up a flyer. And if they couldn't put up a flyer, a lot of times they were like, but we'll buy a book. So make sure to bring books when you're doing your papering of your town. And you can also do the little flyers, like if you have holiday events and things like that. And I usually put up a couple of business cards when I tack up my flyers. But I mean, for the launch parties, we were tacking them on the phone poles and, I mean, you name it. So, business cards. Business cards are going to be your biggest marketing tool. As an author, I try to buy 250 of them a month and distribute 250 a month. Take them everywhere. Do not leave the house without your business cards. If somebody asks you for a business card, give them 5, not 1. Give them enough that if they want to talk about you, they can give them to their friends. Leave them on waiting room tables. Tuck them into books in places. There are so many things you can do with business cards. You can also put them on the bulletin boards. Oh, I had some out earlier for to show you what mine looked like, because you don't want to put. Hold on, I'll get them. You don't want to put your information, like your phone number and your address, on your business cards. You want to put just your website and like some pictures of your books, because people look at my business cards. Here's what mine look like. See the little pictures of my books there? My website? They look at these business cards and they think, or they say, oh, you wrote all these? So it shows exactly what you do, and there's the contact information with your website. If they want to get a hold of you, they can do it through your website on your contact page. And they can find all your other spaces. Your website is your portal to everything. Your showcase for yourself. So you don't want people like calling you, random people calling you. So don't put your phone number on there or your address. So okay, we've established that business cards, get them. Just you must have business cards. And distribute a lot of them everywhere. And you can do the same thing with bookmarks. If you'd rather get bookmarks instead of business cards, I like to do both. But bookmarks can have the same effect. Hold on. Okay. Here. I'm almost done. Alright, and lastly, don't be afraid to talk about yourself. This is one of the biggest things I found. I was never really the kind of person who was like to talk about myself to everybody. And when I became a published author, I told myself, yes, I need to learn how to do this. And so I fit discussion into any discussion. I can fit something in about what I do. A lot of times it'll come up like in line at the grocery store. People will be like, oh, I'm so busy, or I'm so tired. And I say, yeah, you know, I know how that goes. I got 5 kids and I work at home. And they say, well, what do you do? And I tell them I'm a writer. And then, of course, they say, well, what do you write? And then we get to talking about my books. And a lot of times, if I ask if they've heard of my books, they have. So that's pretty cool. But don't be afraid to talk about yourself. Be proud of what you do. And you can do it in a way that doesn't sound like bragging, where you can just fit it into a conversation and it doesn't sound conceited. It doesn't sound like, you know, it's just natural. And it will become more and more natural the more that you do it. So those are my tips for today. I'm going to put a couple of links on the blog. My guidebook is free May 1st or 1st and 2nd. Which is, so you can get that, go download it. So I'm going to put the link for that on there, and a link to to one of my articles about offline marketing. I'm not going to put any other links in it this week because my stuff's free, so you can just download that. And I guess that's it. So make sure to join us next week for KB Miller, and I don't remember what she was talking about next week, so there's a link on the blogs under up at the tab under Self-Publishing 101 that'll give the whole list of Self-Publishing 101 videos, what they were about, in the link. And you can go there if you haven't seen previous ones that you'd like to see, as well as what some of our future ones are going to be. So until then, see y'all later. Bye-bye.